Water girl here.
That was insane. Uh, yeah, I wanna.
It wasn't quite as insane as Siren Girl, but
Oh yeah, that
at least in
that
my
was that
opinion.
was a shit show.
It was nuts. I'm glad you liked it, but regardless, at this point,
I wanna bust out my poisoner's kit and start testing these vials.
okay, yeah, make me
I've got proficiency with my, so
with
just
yeah, do it with intelligence.
intelligence.
Oh,
All right.
Yep.
nice.
Okay, looking over everything, none of them seem to be um antidotes exactly, but they seem to be components that might fit together to form one. But it's an odd, uh, it's a poison that you're not familiar with. It would take a little while working with
Yeah.
it to figure it out.
But if I were to identify these components, would I be able to, like, Susia, hey, are these like the things we would need? Like,
Yeah,
if I could.
you could potentially come up with an antidote, maybe. It would require some work, because you'd have to test it. You don't know the right ratios necessarily, but you do know that these seem to be components to make some kind of antidote-like substance. However, at this point, now that the fight's over, I need Corellian and Zuzia to make me one more Constitution saving throw.
Oh, big money, no whammies.
Woo!
Okay, that's good.
Oh no.
Oh
That's
no.
not as good.
Can I hit her with a? Since I know she got stabbed by assassins, can I hit her with like some lesser restoration?
I don't think that
I'm
covers
gonna give you
poisons.
advantage on the Constitution saving throw for that. Sort of holding it off a little bit, helping. Make me one more con save. Evil.
Oh no, yeah, it does.
Okay. I was lucky. Okay.
Oh,
Both of you, you still currently have disadvantage on your attacks, but you can feel the further effects of the poison setting in for a moment, paralyzing your muscles, even paralyzing sort of your limbs going numb. And with the help of Bramnik and just from sheer fortitude and force of will, you manage to shrug that off just barely. I'm not gonna lie, that was a DC 20. So yeah, but you guys are you have disadvantage on your attacks at least for now, and that will last until until after your next long rest.
I'll turn towards the priestess and offer her a hand up. And like, I'm gonna. How does she look? Is she like still pretty ragged,
She's
or?
she's okay now that you've done the lay on hands. She's looking a lot better, and she looks. Thank you.
As she grabs my hand,
Who
I'm
are
gonna hit
you?
her with 10 more points of lay on hands.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no, she's mostly like there's still some scratches and bruises and stuff that's just got to heal on its own, but she looks like she's in serviceable condition, just really tired and still terrified and all, but alive, very much alive.
I'm just gonna.
Um,
You're welcome. We're the nameless, and I'm gonna motion Tagus to get his ass over here too.
All right. Here we go.
I'm not looking away from.
We're on the island. I'm gonna
Yeah,
hit you with
okay.
10 points of lay on hands. So add 10 more hit points to your.
Hooray.
all right.
Thank you.
yeah.
Helpful.
Does she look like? I know she's a priestess, but does she look like druidy? Like, would I be able to?
Not quite. Not quite druidy, but
Is she elvish at all?
she is elvish.
Did she use the antitoxin?
She did not need to.
Okay. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, she yeah, Iset seems to have been the only one with that poison. And he didn't quite get to her in time before you guys showed up. So, yeah, at this point, okay, so you've got one person here, bound with chains on the ground, still very sick. Speaking of which, just for my entertainment's sake, yeah, now that everything's stopped moving, but in his head or her head, it's still moving. She pukes on your boots, Ta.
Oh, I'm gonna step on one of her hands just to make sure she can't make
I
any
mean,
gestures,
she's passed the fuck out, but
It-
it's still, yeah.
and also
Would-
to wake her up.
Can you
Um,
hit her with a point of like your bright hands there, Carillion?
I still got 5 points. I'll hit her with. I'll just poke her in the face with 1 point.
Okay.
Bring her back to
You
consciousness.
can hear her groaning basically, but she's not. She's slowly coming to now.
If I step on her hand
Okay,
and
so-
leave my boot there, will she wake up faster? Because I'm going to
You
do
might
that.
kill her.
Oh,
Yep.
I won't do
Like,
that.
if
then.
you were to lift your boot, Tagus would like sort of put a hand on your knee and just like try and like take your leg away. Just don't.
Spear still at her throat, by the way. Just that's
Yep,
not
that's
not
fair.
changing.
So she slowly comes around, sort of looks up at all of you, and then, eyes kind of blurry.
I'm gonna
and
drop the
slowly
bladed
looks
end
around.
of my halberd right next to like where she's sitting.
Okay. But yeah, she sort of looks around at her situation, doesn't say anything, but starts glaring at all of you.
By the gods, do you guys need to be so violent?
Yes.
It's worked for us so far.
The answer is no. Thank you.
Our answer is yes. Thank you.
Your answer is not the correct answer. Look,
Shut up and ask
I'm-
her the questions.
Right. I'm gonna hold the vials that I have that I know are components and be like, how do I combine these to cure the poison that he's been using on all the priests?
I'm gonna have her just roll a straight in check. Okay. Yeah, she looks. She goes. Sort of nods her head back and forth as a no sort of thing, as if she is saying she doesn't know.
Hey, Zuzia, could you
Insight
make this
check.
person talk?
Okay, insight.
9.
If I am allowed to try that as well, I would like to attempt.
Sure, go for it. You can. I'll let 2 people do it. So
Bit better.
16 and 9, and that will be versus 14. Okay, Bramnick, you're convinced.
She doesn't know, guys.
Tagus, you get the feeling that she might not necessarily know exactly how it all, goes together. She knows more than she's saying.
Yeah, so I'm going to lean down to her and say, sort of, like kneeling on the water, and say, "Look, I'm sorry that this happened. I don't know why you're doing this, what you want, how we can help, but we do want to help. Look, I'm sure whatever is going on here, you're angry at someone and you don't approve, or there's something going on that we can help you with. You don't need to resort to violence, and if you can help us get things back on track, I'm sure we can help you. In fact, maybe it will start that now.
Persuasion with disadvantage.
Okay. 13.
She spits in your face. Just
I'm
directly.
trying. I don't
Straight
even-
out of, between the eyes, it starts to roll down your cheek.
I don't even wipe it away and just say, trying to help you here. And yeah.
Hey,
Can you
Uh,
at least
can-
tell us what you want?
Zuzia, can you do one of your mind game thingies?
You want me to use my suggestion on her?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's versus your DC Wisdom save. So, unfortunately,
Oh.
as you try it, being familiar with the spell, she shrugs it off. But at that point, Zuzi, I need you to make a Wisdom save.
Oh
shit.
no.
She did.
Yeah. Suzia, this is one of your kinsmen. As she says something in Abyssal, anyone who can understand Abyssal. Anyone
Tagus?
else?
Don't think so.
Okay. I think
Check.
Nyx might be able to.
Gonna check language proficiency.
I mean, if I wanted to, yeah, I guess.
You want
Is it
to.
Eyes of
Please
the
say
Runekeeper, or
yes.
is it actually okay?
No,
Yeah,
it's a
in the-
one-action ritual.
Okay, in the moment, you wouldn't necessarily catch this.
No, I didn't think.
Zuzia, you hear, "Help me," and you realize that this is one of your kinsmen. This is a Yuan-Ti, and you should probably help them somehow.
As long as you help me, I'll help you.
Oh no, this is you're under the
That's
effects
what-
of suggestion.
So I can't like. Wait, I'm under her suggestion.
Mhm.
Oh
That's
shit.
definite.
She turned it right back around on you. She managed to shrug yours
Okay,
off
I
and
understand
hit you
now.
back.
No.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
has gone terribly for me all around.
Yeah, it went pretty badly for you, yeah. So that's the situation.
No.
What do you
Okay.
guys want to do?
Do I notice this magically?
You notice the word. You notice her say something.
I'll shout over to Juzia. What's she saying?
Can I say what she said while I'm under suggestion?
Yeah, the suggestion is help
Um,
her. So
Yeah.
Take that any way
you're
you
just doing whatever you can to best help her get out of this situation, and
well,
get free.
the suggestions were help her. I
yeah,
wasn't
or
her
help in general.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so if
She
if
wants us to
you're-
help her. I mean, she wants me to help her. So, and if like I need help, and if she can help me, and she wants me to help her, you guys like don't kill her.
I mean,
didn't plan on it. Can't speak for these dog nuts, but okay.
excuse you.
I'm gonna give him just like the
I'm
slightest.
just gonna
glance.
turn over to Tagus.
Don't pretend like I'm not wrong.
I'd like to do something. Nix
So
would
close,
like to walk over to this body over here, pick it up, and start dancing with it.
Wow.
give me a strength check. 'Cause this is a waterlogged body that you're trying to pick up. I mean, it's kind of heavy.
Wow.
Is it the same mod? Yeah, probably for you, because it's the -2. Yeah, you do manage to pick it up. It's awkward trying to dance with it. It doesn't really, because it's not under the effects of water walking or anything like that. You're trying to hold it up. It's sort of that awkward teen slow dance from that everybody knows from school dances and shit.
Perfect.
About as much as you can manage. Yeah.
There's a mage hand that attempts to push you away, and you hear Tagus shout, "That is not helping."
Okay.
Do you even stop?
No.
that's about right. Welcome to.
I apologize for. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was odd. I don't really know what else to say.
Why
on
do
that
you
one.
keep apologizing? These people are trying to kill members of your community.
Yeah, probably under orders. Probably for some reason, I don't know, maybe we did some ancient wrong to them. Who the hell knows? We don't, and that's probably what they're mad about. Look, I know we can come to a peaceful solution. We can, I say to the assassin, just like reassuringly. But nobody here is cooperating, frankly. And killing is not an option for you or us. For you, for obvious reasons. Us for less obvious reasons. But point stands.
I will try to charm person the assassin.
Ooh.
Okay. What does it say versus your spell DC, which is 17?
60.
16?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're wise
Shrugs
as
it off.
shit.
Yeah.
So wise.
High wisdom. She manages to shrug that off and look back at you. Thankfully, she doesn't have a suggestion ready. She's already got that running. But, you know.
Well, that didn't work. Look, you're either gonna help us or you're gonna die. That's how it's gonna turn out. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
Like he can talk all he wants about peacefulness, but my friends and I don't. We don't care either way.
At this point, you hear the priestess just say, "Killer."
We'll get an answer either way. We can always resurrect that other guy. He seemed like he was in charge.
I can get answers.
Oh
what?
shit! I know what she wants to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
I'm
wait.
just
I'm
gonna
not
look.
gonna stab her.
I'm
I'm
gonna-
not gonna do it.
Question: is this a high-level
Actually-
cleric thing that I'm aware of?
This is probably the high-level cleric thing that you're aware of.
I'm gonna look
I
back at
don't-
the priestess.
I'm asking if I'm aware of anything. Because I, out of character, don't know of any high-level cleric stuff that would.
Oh no, it's this would be Speak with the Dead.
Mhm.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, the priestess said killer, so
Yeah.
And then, okay,
What?
Yeah.
As
I'm
I'm
just gonna
turned
put up a
around,
hand.
maybe we should think of. Oh God!
you
fast or slow?
tear the throat right
No,
out
wait,
of her.
what? Oh shit! You fucking god damn it! Told you to wait, you motherfucker.
Well, it was rolled. It happened.
Alright.
these are priestesses and stuff to my god. I don't care.
Cool. I'm just gonna say, hold on. I'm gonna run over to Esset's body, drag both halves over, and be like, you should probably do it on this guy.
She,
So we just killed her for. Oh God!
Well, yeah. I mean, priestess didn't necessarily know who was in charge. She
Can
was
we,
busy doing other things. Okay,
Can
so
we move that token
she
over here?
looks at each of you and says, "Only a few questions. Get them in your mind." And begins casting a spell. Okay, so if you got, I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes to think of questions that you would want to ask.
I mean, we need to know why they were doing what they're doing, what their goal is, and probably
You
like
have up
how
to
to make
5
the
questions.
antidote.
Yeah, the why would be the main thing. The end goal, I guess, might be another thing if that's not answered. But we'll save
If-
that, I guess.
If
Who's
there are
paying
others
them?
here,
Or actually, no. Whose plan? Who concocted this plan?
Who's in charge of?
Yeah.
But we need to figure out how to make the antidote.
Yeah, that's probably
Yes.
another good one. How do you make the antidote?
Okay.
So are we doing this on the body of the person we just killed, or Esset's body?
Hopefully on Essex.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I can't drag his token over.
Well,
Yeah,
he
no, that's
knows
fine.
the most out of.
Well, you would only
Definitely,
need like
So
the half
Definitely
that
on
can
acid.
speak.
if you
Yeah.
have like half of his body over there, that's fine. Whatever,
So-
it doesn't really matter. But yeah.
Why? Who? Antidote. Leader.
Are
I
there
know,
It should
well,
be
I-
like over here too somewhere.
Yeah, are there more?
where's all your money?
You guys haven't
Su-
actually
suggestion-
investigated the body yet.
Suggestion faded when.
Yes, it did.
Okay, good, because
You're no
Zuzia
longer
just
under
made a
suggestion.
brilliant movement
Zuzia.
behind me.
Okay.
You're no longer trying to
So-
help her, as the spell is very much gone, considering somebody just died.
So why? Who? Antidote? How many of you, and where are you located? Maybe.
Don't I know
Well,
some
if-
of the answers to those?
You do know some of the answers to those, yes.
If there are others in the city, it would cover both of those.
Okay. So as the priestess finishes her spell, you see, even though essentially the lungs have been severed in half diagonally, you still see the chest rise with a breath, eyes still black, listless, but his head seems to move forward. And he just sort of waits there.
Right.
What's the
Well-
antidote to that weird nerve poison?
Okay. Do you still have the vials there
Yep, I still have them in my
in your hands?
Yeah.
All right. He points to one of them. Or he actually just points to, in sequence, 3 total of the vials.
I'd probably sort those 3 out into their own little thing.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
taking note and separating them from
Okay.
the rest.
What's the next question?
Why then? So,
Yeah.
why are you attacking the leaders of this city?
The keys.
Out of character, do we want to update one of our questions to what the fuck are the keys?
I mean, we had like one
I'm
or two
sure
questions.
other leaders would know what he's referring to by keys. I'm sure the priestess would probably know.
In fact,
actually, you do see
she's
the
here.
priestess's face start to kind of go white at the mention of just the word keys.
To talk to her very quietly, I'll go to around to her, so it's not counted as a question. But
Yep.
Care to elaborate?
Maybe later. Who put you up to this?
Unkish.
Kish. I'm looking at Susia to see if she has any facial reactions to that name.
I don't know. Do you?
I
Are
just
you
have
trying
a
to hide
dead-
it?
I just have a dead blank stare on my face, like
Okay.
you have no idea.
Yeah. So without a check, it's just
Yeah,
Blank.
I'm looking at
checking.
her. Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Roll insight.
Antidote.
She is
Yeah,
one of
roll
them.
Why and who?
Fuck.
I guess I'll.
Perception's so good.
Do I need to roll something?
No, because I
Uh,
automatically succeeded a
oh.
natural 20.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily. Evil.
Yeah.
Roll me a deception check. Okay.
Aw.
It would be a 24 then. Okay.
Bramnick, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Curly, you see like just the corner of her mouth slightly move. You're not sure what it means.
Ta, grab her, please.
What?
What?
Please
We have more
grab
important shit
Zuzia.
to do. Although Zuzia, as I like sort of turn to almost look over my shoulder, get out from behind me, and then I'm gonna look back at the dead body.
Okay.
Are there more of you in the city?
Yes.
Alright, we have one question left. We have 5, right?
Yep.
Yep, one
Yeah,
question
5
left.
total.
Where are your hideouts? Does anybody have a map?
You were staring at one.
I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him an insight check. Okay. He looks at each of you and says, "Everywhere." And with that, you see the last bit of breath leave his body.
And I
Falls.
I would like to
definitely
kick him
giggled
into the
out
water.
loud.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna turn around and face Zuzia square on. Now it's your turn.
As long as you help me.
With what? What are
I'm
we gonna do?
poisoned!
I'm. No, you're
Well,
not.
no,
No,
it'll fade in time.
It
Yeah,
w-
you
it
shrugged
will?
it off. Yeah. You
Oh,
shrugged it
I
off.
did,
That one
didn't
will.
I?
Only because of Bramnick's help, admittedly. 'cause if
Okay.
that, you would be.
I
completely
did help
correct.
you.
Rude.
I
Yeah.
did. Now help us. What's going on? Do you know anything about Unkish?
I know many things about Unkash.
Unkash?
Unkash. I don't have the right
It's weird.
spelling on what I wrote down just now.
Yeah, I'll just here.
Uncle Quiche? What?
Ancash? Oncash?
Oncash, yeah.
Oncash, okay. Well, it's spelled with an A, so.
Yeah, it's like Ankh, like the
Yeah.
Egyptian Ankhs.
Oncash.
Yeah.
It's. So, Oncash is the city I'm from.
Wait, that was the who.
Yeah, so the city itself gave the orders to attack the holy city?
Or was the city named
For the
after someone or
keys?
something?
Yeah, Susia, was the city named after someone?
It is named after someone.
Oh god damn it.
I'm assuming one
Is
of the
this some sort of
gods.
deity?
Well, I mean, not necessarily a deity, but she is our ruler.
I just facepalm.
Looks like we have to kill more snake people.
No,
No,
we
no.
don't need. Okay.
Needs a strong word. More
Bramnik,
like
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I don't think we can take on an entire city of these guys with the poisons that they have.
we're quite
Wow.
trained, as you've seen my skills.
Now that I have the components to the antidote, I'm sure that I can give this off to some sort of research department and they can find more ingredients to make more antidote.
The poison will
Potentially.
be nullified effectively, but there's still the problem of, daggers in the backs of all of the leaders. Look, we've solved one part of the problem, rather important part, but we still need to finish this as a whole, and it seems like the only way to do that is compromise, and it seems that they are after these keys, so he said. Do you happen to know anything about that? As I turn to the priestess.
She looks at you and says, "Might that I do? But I don't know who you are, and that is privileged knowledge that I cannot give out."
Hi there. Tagus Nuriel, son of Neil Nuriel, captain of the guard, and I'm going to play this card because I can. Chosen, as my eyes begin to glow yellow and spectral wings sprout from my back.
And we are the reason you're alive.
That too.
So first she's sort of taken aback almost by the manifestation of the Asimir power. And she sort of looks to you. I'm assuming you've got both your sigils out
Yep.
as well. Okay. So she looks at you, and then you see her eyes sort of harden in understanding of what you are, who you are, and then turns to Ta and says, "You might be the reason I'm alive, but this goes far, far beyond that. And a simple rescue does not mean that you are allowed to know all the secrets of my order, nor
Maybe
anyone
not.
else's here.
But
However, this is still something I cannot speak of without the others present.
well,
Call to Neil. It's time to assemble the council."
Well,
I'm just gonna start
At
taking.
this point, you do hear a loud banging sound as several guards have just now managed to get the fuck inside. So,
slow ass
So-
fuckers.
well,
It's been more than 10 minutes now, right?
yes.
I'm going to take some water and start washing some of that explosion dust off of my armor
Yeah.
and
Well, it's
blood.
pretty well coated. Some of it's almost embedded. It's gonna take you a couple hours of proper shining it to really get it nice. But you do manage to get the surface stuff off.
just because I can, I'm going to fly up about 30 feet in the air, just in view of the guards, because I can, and just control water, raise the tides to put out any of the fires the firewall caused on this side of the...
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, yeah, you can totally do that. There's now a sort of a scar of burned area, burned wood, and grass there, but the fire is out and it is no longer, actually burning the stuff in.
And
the
then,
area.
in the air, I turn to the guards, cross my arms, and taking great pleasure in my position, say to them, "Don't worry, boys. Situation's handled. You're welcome."
They look
I'm-
at you, trying to figure out who the fuck this dude is. These aren't guards that you've seen before, or if you have, it's been a long time since they've seen you. It's not the party with Neil. This is a different set.
I'm going to ignore all that and then start looting Esset's body for like
Give
other
me an
stuff.
investigation.
Somebody
Just
want to help
overall.
me? Somebody please help me.
I'll help.
From 30 feet high. Okay.
But
Sure.
first, I'm going to let you, if you want to, re-roll that one of those or two of those d8s.
Roll 2 of the d8s.
Re-roll those the two d8s that were a 2 and a 3 if you want to. Anyways,
Yeah. Roll
Just kind of generally-
2d8.
Just kind of generally pissed off.
Yeah,
I'm
there
gonna
we go.
send my hand out to the priestess and be like,
so
if you wouldn't mind giving that back for the
So
that is a
antitoxin.
total of 19 instead of
12 and
Yeah, she hands it back to you.
11.
She does look at you and says, "Don't think that I don't appreciate it, but it's out of my control. This is not something that I can give willingly to anyone. But depending on from what I've heard and what I've seen, I will advocate for you to be given this knowledge. It's just not something I can give freely myself."
I'll give her a bit of a nod.
All right. So at this point, the guards kind of come in and start kicking the bodies, making sure that they're all dead. The priestess looks to each of you and says, "We should go meet at the in the Justice Rise. It's where the council will be held."
Cool.
Nyx gets bored and just drops the body and just loots it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll check the other
You
one next to
find-
me too.
All right. So all told, you guys find a ring of water walking,
Nice.
a couple of short swords, like 3.
That's going in the bag.
specifically, 2 short bows. Pretty much all the armor's thoroughly fucked at this point, unfortunately. You guys managed to make a lot of holes and stuff. Although, I would say that Water Dude, his armor's mostly okay.
Just
need a
very
little
wet.
bit of patching up and studded leather. And then you also find 286 gold pieces between the assassins themselves. Investigation of 17. Yeah. That's about all you find.
I'm gonna
Okay,
take
sorry.
Esset's cloak.
It is currently you literally cut it in half.
Oh, cool.
So
You have a
you
half
can
cloak.
have like half a cloak.
I kind of look towards Nyx. Do you know how to sew?
No,
Tagus
don't even
will-
ever ask me to do that shit again.
Dagus will put his hand out and say, "I think I have something that might be able to help." So he'll take the cloak, put it on the. Well, he'll fly down, take it over, find a rock or somewhere neat, and he's going to mending.
Okay. I mean it's a cloak. It's sort of a thicker.
It'll be a bit, more.
I mean, if he folds it up, it'll be less than 1 foot in any dimension.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, well, and you can kind of do it over. Let's say it takes.
You can do it more than once as well.
Yeah,
Just
a couple. You have to do it a couple of times to get the seam all the way across properly.
about 5 minutes, but
Not even that.
Yeah.
It's pretty quickly actually. Probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes to get the whole thing. Because of the way that the cut was. But yeah, you managed to patch it up for the most part. It's a nice looking cloak, I guess. Dark colors, blacks and browns, but yeah, there's nothing particularly special about it.
Nice.
Can I try to find his dagger?
Looking around, there does not appear to be any of those shadow daggers around.
Sorry, I didn't have the bag open at the right time. I got the ring of water walking. I got 2 short swords. I got the gold. There was bows, right? Short
Two,
swords.
three
Two
short
bows, 3
swords,
swords. Yeah.
Or 3.
and yeah, 2 bows, 3 swords. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Short bow specifically.
Yep. And then yeah, so you guys, the priestess sort of looks at each of you and says, "Come on, we should leave. Let the guards do their jobs and investigate the area and secure it, hopefully."
All right then. To Justice Rise, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so you guys are gonna head out.
I'm
Thankfully,
gonna
you're
move
pretty
in a.
close by.
I'm gonna move in a flanking position to the priestess.
Okay.
I want to take a better look at some of those pillars that you were talking about as we were making our way into the area that had like the different gods on it, just to
Okay.
kind of look.
Yeah, sure. Just as like sort of a quick thing, just make me an investigation. I suppose as you're walking by.
Investigation.
Okay. To your eyes, they look like totems almost. Sort of representations of various creatures. And you know that, especially with like Grey Beach, some of them seem to be made in a way to denote protectors of certain places, things like that. That's about all you get without sitting there and really, just sort of on the glance leave on the,
Right.
sort of on the way. But you guys all head over to Justice Rise. As you look out over towards Lux Rise, you can see that there is no longer much in the way of smoke. There's still there's a thin stream of smoke, not nearly as much as there was. But you head off in that general direction. A couple of the guards run off to apparently assemble this council of individuals who you're not exactly sure who the hell they are, but you guys managed to make it to. There you go. Guys managed to make it to a. So in the center of the Justice Rise is just a small patch of ground protected by 6 large metallic humanoids, looking a lot like the shield golems that you guys fought before, but more sophisticated. Standing there, each one has a great axe in hand, unmoving in any way, but creating a barrier around this small patch of ground, probably 15 by 15 area in the center, and they sort of create a perimeter a little ways out from that. As you walk in, you sort of follow the priestess into a large room with 6 chairs at a long sort of a, how would I put this? Sort of a podium sort of thing, or it's almost like the Senate sort of thing, or yeah, we'll just go with that for the most part. She sort of gestures towards the back where there's a couple of extra seats, sort of pew seating, and says, "Have a seat there. Once the rest of the members get here, we can go from there." And she moves up to take one of the seats on this podium as a couple of other individuals that you don't necessarily recognize come in. There is one that you do recognize, Zoust, the underpriest of Bahamut, walks in, takes one seat. A large orc comes in and sits down at the far end of the table. Kind of eyeing Utah, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I'm standing next to the bench, by the way, that everybody else said, like at the back of the room.
Okay.
Nyx is going to stand next to Top.
That's fair. There's a dwarf that comes in, a gnome, and a tiefling in addition to those. So they all sit down and begin speaking sort of quietly amongst themselves as Neil enters into the chamber along with a Colbuckle and a couple of other seeming high-ranking individuals of the town's defense. If there's anything you guys want to do before this whole thing, or while everybody's sort of filtering in,
I'm just
wanna give you that
patching up
opportunity.
our party members. We're walking
Okay. Okay, so you're casting healing spells and that
Yeah.
sort of thing, just quietly in the corner.
in. Yeah, just
Um,
patching people up.
Okay. So as Neil walks in, he notices you, Tagus.
Yeah.
Sort of out of the corner of his eye, and looks confused for a moment, but then continues up towards this sort of semicircular area, tall bench with when I say bench, I mean like, table, almost like a bar. It's almost like a judge's spot that they sit at, but there's 6 of them. He walks up and goes, "What's the meaning of this?" To which the priestess sort of explains the situation that she was in and that the rest of you came to rescue her. The orc is looking dubious at best, and Zaf sort of looks at you a little surprised, for lack of a better term. He's not much older than you, if he is at all. But at this point, the priestess mentions the keys, and you see everyone tense up. Even Neil tenses up. It seems he actually might know something about this. And he replies with, "Are you sure it was the keys?" And priestess sort of looks back and says, "Well, your son, along with the rest of his friends, I suppose, asked the questions. Keys were mentioned. Perhaps you should speak to them about it." And he sort of ushers you guys forward and asks, "So what did this assassin say exactly?"
It was their motive, what they're here for, basically, and why they're doing this.
They said keys. For sure.
Yep.
You heard them say keys.
Yep.
That's what we heard.
The
That's what they
keys.
said.
Okay. Well, and at this point, Neil sort of like looks over to Colbuckle, and Colbuckle walks over to these large, double doors, closes them, locks them, and you can see that there seems to be some sort of anti-sound, anti-divination magic that kicks in. For those of you with sort of just a general idea of magic, and Neil says, "Well, I don't know quite as much about these keys, but my vote is for them to know. They helped." And then he looks at you, Tagus. You helped. And I can't deny that. The priestess sort of speaks up again, seeming to be the spokesman of this group, and says, "Each rise is given a key. How that key is distributed amongst each of the rises is up to that particular, shall we say, district. Each key is the controller to one of the sentinels that guards the place that the keepers once stood, the only place that they ever touched ground the reason this city was built.
Wait, the keepers that fought the,
Yes.
the war.
Well,
Right.
they ended it, yes. And it took the power of all of the gods to do that, to create them, and to wipe that scourge off of the face of Etos. Now, it is considered our holiest of sites. It is the reason that everyone, assuming you do not interfere with others' worship rituals, is allowed to come, build a temple, and worship here. However, we're no strangers to strife. There are many groups who are diametrically opposed to each other, who, we'll say, don't get along exactly. And she sort of looks over towards the orc herself, actually. And kind of smiles in a way. And she says, to prevent any one group from trying to take the Keeper's Rest, we built sentinels to protect the area, and a key was given to each rise so that no one god or temple had all the power. There's one given to Bahamut, one given to Grumish, one given to Sylvanas, one to Gond, one to Milil, the god of poetry, and one given to Cord.
See, Sylvanas, Gond, Grumish, Bahamut, Milil, Cord.
Yep. And who has the keys? Which temple it is not known outside of this chamber. And each rise, the head priest would know in each rise. However, they don't know where the key is located in any other one. We serve as representatives as well, doing our best to run the city. It's an odd state of affairs, but it seems to be the best way for this to work. However, if they were after keys, well, I'm not entirely sure what that means for us. If there are more, this could be a real problem.
At this point, I'll just pipe up. Well, they have more hideouts everywhere.
At least that's what their friend seemed to say. He was probably being honest, so...
I can confirm this. There are many hideouts throughout the world.
There's more in the city as well.
Well, we don't know what their plan was. Simply killing any particular member. There are always two members within a temple that know where the key is. The person leading the clergy and one of their chosen seconds. In this case, for instance, with Bahamut, it was Alamer and Aurora. Which means we don't know where that key is now.
At this point, I'll just kind of nudge Bramnik on the shoulders, like, the antidote.
Yeah. In our skirmish, the, I guess, leader of that little pack had these vials on them, and I'll pull out the 3. Like these 3 vials combined in a certain way will create an antidote for the poison that they've been using.
Yeah, she sort of looks down to all of you, and that could be very useful. I myself am not necessarily an herbalist, but I'm sure we can find someone.
I'm
could
a
help.
bit of an herbalist.
Very well. If you're willing to help, we can potentially create an antidote for this. That would be most advantageous. Actually. And at this point, the dwarf with the symbol of Gond sort of emblazoned upon his breast actually jumps out of his chair, walks down to you, speaks in Dwarven for a moment, which
I'll just look at him
realizes
quizzically. Yeah.
he just sort of he looks confused, and then, right, follow me. And the two of you head down, sort of just off to the side as you guys start parsing through the 3 vials that were pointed at, trying to figure out what they are, what sort of, maybe trying to figure out like how much of each bit would be required, etc. So that's sort of what you're off doing at the moment, just sort of off to the side of the room as quietly as you can. Meanwhile, you can see Alamar sort of, he looks out of place. Like this is not the role he wanted ever. Being, or not Alamar, Zust. Alamar's dead. So yeah, he just looks out of place at the moment, serving as, the representative from the Temple of Bahamut. At this point, Neil sort of speaks up and says, well, if we know what they're after, we can much better defend against it.
Were any of the keepers of the location of the key sworn to an oath to secrecy?
All are sworn to an oath of secrecy. Only those 2 in the temple may know. One, in case one of them dies. The other 2 actually hold the key. Or at least know where it's hidden. It's up to that individual to hide it or keep it wherever.
Out of character. Aurora, is that Tagis's mom?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Aurora was the second person to know the key in the Temple of Bahamut.
Okay. So if we can get her healed up, we might be able to find out if the key is still safe.
Yep. Speaking of which, give me a proficiency check with advantage with your herbalist tools using intellect.
Int, not
Yep.
wisdom. For
Nope.
like.
Yeah, with advantage.
With advantage.
Let me change it up here. Intelligence, right? Advantage. Okay. Herbalist.
Okay.
Nice.
Nat
Nice.
20.
All right. So, yeah.
That feels good.
While you're working, the 2 of you managed to kind of start to identify some of these components, at least what they're close to, right? These aren't exactly, this is not stuff you've ever worked with. These are from the Underdark. They're not stuff that you're used to, like I said. However, they share some similarities, and you get the idea that one is kind of a bonding, mixing agent meant to be the solution to hold the antidote, and the other 2 pieces, when combined in a specific amount, would create a powerful antitoxin specifically for paralytics. The 2 of you managed to actually sort of concoct a version of it very quickly, and using about half of your stock, which is about as much as you would need to actually create a viable amount of anti-venom or anti-poison, whatever you want to call it. You pour it all into a single vial, and you have what you believe to be a working version of the antitoxin.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look at the dwarf and I'm gonna start speaking Elvish to him since he came up to me speaking dwarf. She's like, "We did good work."
You would actually understand, weirdly.
Dope.
And you just switch to Elvish all of a sudden. Yeah. Why don't you know? You know what? Never mind.
It's a long
Good work.
story.
Good work.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, let's just call it that.
Yeah.
And he gets up to join everyone else.
So I currently have it. He didn't take it.
No, he's just giving it to you for the moment.
Okay.
He kind of says, "Use this for Aurora. We need to know where that key is."
Yeah. My thoughts exactly. And I'll return to. I'm gonna go right up to Tagus and I'm gonna hold up the elixir or the antidote and be like, I think we've come up with something, but I don't know how much time your mom has left. So.
So she has enough, and he is literally going to abandon the council and go running off to give the
I
thing.
didn't hand it to you. I just showed it to you.
I was going to swipe it then and take it.
Sure.
Well,
I'll let him.
at that point, Neil would actually hear it too, as he's standing kind of right next to you, Tagus. You can kind of see he's got this sort of stone-faced look on his face. Just looks like he's doing his best to hide whatever's going on in his head. But when you say that that you might have something to fix, or to help Aurora, you see a little chink in that armor. And he pushes it back. It's sort of a glimmer of hope that he's willing himself not to get too attached to.
Tagus is all about hope, though, so he's gonna smile real big, basically swipe the thing, and
Don't
go ahead.
say it. Like,
At this point, Neil says, actually, before you even get a chance, he does speak up and says, "Well, we might, if our dwarf friend here is correct, and thank you for helping him, we might have a way to find out about that key. I suggest we reconvene in a couple of hours, check on the whereabouts of your keys, and we'll go from there. But we know where or what they're after. That means we're no longer exactly on the back foot, or at least we're on less of one. However, if it's all right, I very much would like to see my wife."
he's
To which
probably a pretty big dude, right? Like,
yeah, he's pretty big.
okay.
How big is his warhammer?
The size of your pike.
Holy shit!
But hey, Tagus, I know you want to hurry. Here, take this and hop on, and I'll giant eagle, and carry Tagus to his house.
Okay.
Thank you.
They all agree basically. And they sort of adjourn the meeting. The doors open. You jump on Bramnick's back. Bramnick, you just bolt straight out. At this point, you see Neil running behind you. He's not very far behind you, actually. He does like the 2-finger whistle, this really loud whistle, and a wyvern rider that was nearby literally swoops down. He reaches out with his warhammer, holding on to it, sort of in the center, so that the warhammer head is on one side, the rest of the haft is on the other, and the wyvern reaches out with its lower talons, grabs each side of the warhammer, and he begins to follow you, holding on with one arm.
That's badass.
So ridiculous. I love
Neil
it.
is badass.
Motherfucker is built. But yeah, so the two of you head out there. I'm assuming the rest of you might be headed that way, or what do you want to do?
I want to fight him.
Oh, you
Get
do
your
not
ass
wanna fight
kicked.
Neil right now.
Hey, that's like being a level 10 in World of Warcraft and fighting the like max level city guard.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but I
Alright,
just kind of have this look in my eyes, like, oh, that's such an awesome paladin, dude.
He pokes you and you fall over. It's like, well,
I would be okay with that.
Oh no, he would just smush you. It's okay. Anyway, what are the rest of you guys doing as you guys head out?
I guess I'll just make my way over to the house, and after that, I don't know. I guess I'll see if I can find time to go over to visit Zorkon's shrine on the Lux Rise.
Okay, so are you guys all headed to Thaggis's house, at least for the moment? Or,
Sure. And-
I mean, you can be.
I'm not sure if you all saw it, but I did a mass cure wound, so everybody healed 12. So if anybody
Yep.
is missing health,
Okay. Less health
Thanks for that.
missing. All right.
Yeah.
So Taggis, Bramnick, and Neil all sort of land at the house while everybody else is making their way that way. Yeah. So Taggis, you bolt inside. Sort of.
Thanks for the ride, I say, as I sort of back through the door.
As soon as he hops off, I'm dropping my form and following because I want to make sure that it works, right? So I can make mental note of how we made it and all that
That's fair.
goodness.
Neil literally just drops from about 10 feet in the air as the wyvern literally spins, sort of swoops down, dropping him off, and then takes back off. Walks in. Well, okay, more runs in behind you. So the three of you basically bolt to the bedroom where Aurora is laying. You pour the potion very slowly into her mouth, sort of letting each little bit, a little bit at a time, letting the natural reflexes sort of have her swallow this weird concoction. It takes you a good minute to do that, to get the entire potion out of the vial. But you see slowly what was kind of shallow breathing get a little deeper. Maybe a little bit of a flush color to her cheeks. A little while later, about 10 minutes later, as you guys are right here, the rest of the party could probably be at the door at this point. If you guys are there, you're met by Maldris, who sort of looks at all of you and just sort of shakes her head like, all right, yeah, come on in. At that point, Aurora opens her eyes and sort of looks around. Where am I? What's going on?
Morning, Mom.
She's sort of like, it looks like her eyes are still a little bit glassy, I guess you'd say. Not quite really blurry vision, but she hears your voice and immediately turns her head. Taggis?
Yep.
I thought you were...
Well, got homesick.
Okay. Glad you're home. And Neil sort of reaches out a hand and doesn't even say anything, but you can just sort of see tears starting to stream down his face as the stone mask just shatters.
Yeah, Tags is getting rather teary-eyed as well.
The rest of you are kind of like, it's a large bedroom, but it's not that large. So I'd say you guys are kind of in the hall. You can kind of see this through the doorway, but if you want to go in, you can. But that's really, yeah.
Yeah,
Assuming
I'm gonna
there was
sneak
kinda
up to the
come
doorway
across
and just peek
this.
around the corner, or peek around the doorway.
Well, I mean, no, it's a straight hallway. You can see the doorway at the far end. You can see Bramnick kind of standing in the door jamb, with Taggis and Neil at the side of the bed, basically.
Is there a
Speaking.
servant near me?
It's just the maid. She's sort of coming up with the rest of the party.
Just gonna
She's a little ways away, but yeah, she's within earshot.
Turn towards her and like wipe my eyes and blow my nose. Like, oh, this is so touching. Like, I'm gonna blow my nose on her hammock or whatever.
Oh
Her
god,
hammock
I'll walk in, just grab Bramnick by the back of his shirt. Like, I'm really sorry about that.
I'm
I'm
going
at
to
the-
let my teeth grow and growl at him. Don't touch me.
Come on, man, that's rude.
I'm just at the very back, leaned up against the wall, listening.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also near the back
Um,
because I don't want them to. I don't want her to notice necessarily me.
Yeah, considering that's fair. She's her sight is sort of slowly returning, but she looks to you, Tagus, and says, "What happened? I don't really remember a lot, but what happened?"
You were attacked and then poisoned, and now you're back. That's all you gotta worry about.
But why? Doesn't make any sense.
They were people who attacked you know about.
At this point, I'll be like, hold on, Tagus.
It's under control. There's nothing you need to worry about. Just stay here and recover, okay?
At this point, Neil sort of regains his composure a little bit and turns to Aurora and says, "I'm sorry, but we need to know. Is the key safe?" That's what they're after. And she sort of she smiles and she says, "Yes, it is." And then she asks you, Bramnick, to sort of step out, and actually asks Neil to step out as well.
Yeah.
After Neil sort of explains the situation a little bit better, that Zoust has taken over and Alamar is no longer around. She asks everyone to leave except for you, Tagus.
All right.
Bye.
Close the door, and she sort of smiles at you and says, "You've grown."
Yeah, a little bit.
I'd say a lot more than a little bit, and not just in height. I mean, experience.
I was gonna say the hair's been growing a bit out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I like it. Regardless, I have to ask you. I'm so sorry. I have to ask you to do something.
What is it? Anything?
Zast was never meant to take over the temple. And I fear I won't be able to resume my post for some time. I need you to guide the pilgrims as they come. Guide them through. Help them. Take care of the temple, at least for a little while.
Yeah, I can handle that. Helping people is what I do best, after all.
She smiles and then gestures for you to come a little bit closer.
I do.
She says, "With Alamar dead, I suppose you're the one that should know where the key is." And she takes your symbol of Bahamut,
Mhm.
puts it on top of the symbol of Torn, and puts it over the center of your chest, and then reaches through them and pulls the key out from your chest. It doesn't hurt, but it's this large platinum key with a diamond in the center. It looks like a skeleton key, kind of, just
Mhm.
oversized, arcane runes drawn across all of it. You can read some of it with because of your arcane and divine nature. It speaks of the creation of Bahamut and the creation of this sentinel to guard the city and, more importantly, the Keeper's Rest. She sort of smiles to you and says, "Done a good job keeping it safe. I understand if you don't want it attached to you anymore, but, and I'm sorry for not telling you, but it was the only place I could think that I'd know would be safe."
I appreciate the confidence, and I think it'll be fine in its place. After all, I respect your choice of hiding place. It's, makes sense, I guess.
You never lose it.
No? Never have, never will.
You better not. And she sort of pushes it back through the two symbols. And it's interesting. You feel when it was pulled from you, you felt a little bit of that essence of being chosen. Not go away, but slightly fade in a way. And then the connection becomes much stronger again when the key is attached or embedded. Not saying that it takes it away completely, but it feels like there's a stronger connection between you and, the Celestial.
Right, so
Yeah,
is
it's
it
not-
like... I guess I
it's
don't have
not-
any perspective of this, but I suppose the key is like an amplifier for that, basically?
Kinda, yeah. You get the idea that you were chosen just by virtue of who you are, but this has sort of been a conduit between those two sort of points, the
Mhm.
mortal and the celestial.
All right.
And at this point, she just hugs you and says, "Thank you."
I hug her back and says, "You're welcome. Anything for you." No.
Well, if
Rest up.
anything,
Although
tell Neil
Yes.
to make me a sandwich. I'm hungry.
will do.
So you step out into the hallway and relay the information to your dad. And he just
I'd say the key is safe. Mom's gonna be all right. I'm taking over the temple, and Dad, Mom wants a sandwich.
and you just see this stupidly huge grin across this giant muscle-bound guy who you saw angry as shit earlier, and all business, and he's just got this, just sunstruck stupid smile on his face, and starts laughing. This sort of deep, boisterous laugh. Turns around and heads down to the kitchen to make his wife a sandwich.
What time is it?
At this point, it's late in the day, pretty late in the day. This all happened on one day, so that was it'd probably be getting close to sunset now.
Well, your mom is not the only one that could use some food. I'm pretty hungry. And didn't you say you'd put us up while we're here, Tegus?
Yeah.
At this point, I'll just kind of wrap my arm around her shoulders, like, "Yeah, Tegus, we're good friends."
Hey, Dad, make that 1, 2, 6, no, 7 sandwiches.
At that point, you just sort of hear him snort like, "What?" And then he just turns and goes, "Maldris, I'm gonna need your help." And the maid sort of runs off to help him make some sandwiches.
And some
apparently.
ale, if you got it. Ale.
He sort of looks over his shoulder and says,
I think we can sort that out ourselves.
No, he sort of looks back at all of you and says, "For bringing my son home, saving my wife, I think we can do some ale." Disappears down the stairs towards the kitchen. At this point, yeah, if there's any, you guys all have sort of a quick snack sort of meal, a sandwich and a glass of ale, but head back to the council as they are reconvening. Neil actually stays behind to speak with Aurora.
Oh, I did want to check in with Koresh, see if everything on the ship is alright.
Yeah, yeah. You actually, it's close enough. You could just do the mental thing.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. Yeah, that no problem. Everything seems to be fine on the ship anyway, as far as anyone's been able to tell. I mean, it's only been a few hours, really.
Great.
But you guys head over back to the Justice Rise, where Tagus, you speak to Zoust for a moment.
I tell him that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. No,
Oh.
go ahead.
Sorry, buddy, but it looks like, I don't know if... Sorry if this meant that I'm gonna be staying around here for a while, and helping people, and leading them through, and basically doing your job.
You literally, like, he's kind of shocked for a second, and then you just hear, "Oh, thank God." Yeah, do you need anything? Can I help you with anything? Here, he hands you a notebook of, like, all the notes that he's taken of all the business that he just didn't know what to do with. He's just like, you can just see relief running through his body right now. Like, he is not cut out for this at all. He's a really good go-between and a really good under-priest, but he is no manager-type individual.
Neither is Tagus, but I doubt he'll take that much of a role to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, he'll say, "All right," look at the notes and say,
Zeus just looks at you and says, it can all wait. It can all wait. Don't worry about it. It's not that bad. It's just, I'm a little compulsive about notes. Don't worry about it. It's just reference.
You know what? It's useful. For now, though, just, I tell him just, like, go between job. Like, check on the sort of, check on the fish in the fountain and wing too.
he nods for a second, confused, but grabs he heads out, grabs a couple guards as, the entire city is still creepy, but heads off in that general direction.
Or just sent him off to do some menial task that apparently is really good at.
Yeah, he is kind of a manager person. He's a sort of a great aide type individual, but actually making decisions does not seem to be his forte.
Gotcha.
He heads out. You join the council, take your seat, and between all of this craziness, you sort of indicate that the key for Bahamut is all right, is safe, and that you guys have a viable antitoxin, at least to some of the Yuan-ti poison. However, very limited supply currently. And then the priestess sort of looks around and says, "I'm not sure if there are any more here. I suppose it's not ready for me to know. However, I have a feeling that whatever they're after isn't done. But typically when an assassin fails and tries again, they try much harder and use much more resources. So, at least for the moment, I think we can be relatively certain that they would need to regroup and reform, at least over some time. It took them 2 weeks to gather as much strength as they had for this last attack. I assume it would take a similar amount of time. However, we can post more guards. We now know the places to defend. Thank you, by the way. Turning to the rest of the party. Thank you for helping.
Good day.
God damn it. But she looks to each of you and says, "I'm not sure exactly how we can repay the favor, but you jumping in and helping those who did not ask for it and did not necessarily even know they needed help shows a great bit of character."
I'll just go ahead and grab Essett's cloak that I've plundered. Is like, could I get this enchanted somewhere? Like, for free?
We don't do enchanting so much here. Not so holy city. We don't do much in the way of arcane spells. You might be able to find something on the Sorcerer's Rise, but I severely doubt it. It's temples here, for the most
At
part.
any rate, maybe just get them whatever they need and, well, whatever they can use to help solve this case. I'm sure they're more than willing to help us out, and I'm sure we'll be able to compensate them rather nicely. In fact, you guys came here on a ship, and that ship was... well, if you need anything for it, let us know. I'm sure we can muster up something for it.
I can't remember. Do they know it's an airship, or is Tagus the only one that knows it's an airship?
Tagus knows, but you guys pretty much came in low, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Yep.
we came in the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they don't know it's an airship, but Tagus you do, obviously.
Yeah.
Spending 2 weeks on it, or a week and a half.
Pretty sure I noticed we were in the air at some point.
Yeah, at some point. Despite your not necessarily great checks once in a while on the way. But that's alright.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Well, I mean,
well,
Yeah, I guess that works for us.
we can help repair a ship if that's the case. We have our own dry docks here. It shouldn't be too bad.
I
Yeah, well,
I'll kind of look at
repairs,
Tom for permission.
provisions.
Like,
We had some repairs done already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
had
thought-
shoring up, but it's not like a lot of the deck plating or a lot of the decking needs to be redone. It was really just the structural stuff was shored up as best it could be. But you'd need to like pull off parts of the decking to actually put in a new spar going towards the front that the Griffin dug into. What was basically done was there was a brace added to make it so that piece was strong enough it wouldn't collapse, and then everything under the waterline was basically replaced, but everything above the waterline is still sort of charred.
well, we
But
do
I'll-
need ship repairs.
I'll just say it. Fuck it. Well, we have an airship that was somewhat damaged during our travels. It'd be great if we can get that fully repaired.
I don't know that we have many people working on airships, but if it's, I mean, I can't imagine that it would be any different. And she turns to the same dwarf that helped you,
Yeah.
Nick. He goes, shouldn't be too bad. If it's just the frame, it's just wood. Won't be hard at all.
Treated wood, but yeah.
Yeah, best of its fire
we can-
resistance.
I think we can manage. Yeah. I think we can do something for you. It'll take a couple days,
I mean,
of course, but I think it's manageable.
Tagus, if I remember correctly, there was going to be some kind of monetary reward, right? Like some kind of coin.
Tagus looks to you with a raised eyebrow and says, Yeah, sure. We'll see what we can get.
All right.
All right. So for the purposes of this, you, Tagus, you managed to like sort of speak to the rest of them. The rest of you guys, you'll get 1,700 gold
Each.
total.
Oh.
Really? No. 1,700 gold. As well as further repairs on the ships if you want, which that has been deducted from that already. So because it still cost supplies, etc. But that's all right. Meanwhile, I think at that point, you guys, there's no further business with the council currently. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to do?
What was the priestess name from the Sylvan? We did go to the Sylvanas temple, right?
Yeah, that's the
Darylene or
Daratrine.
something?
Daratrine, yeah.
I'll just. I'd like to maybe speak with you back at the Temple of Sylvanas at some point. And maybe you can teach me some things that I'd
And
like
she
to
smiles and says, "Perhaps, but perhaps in the morning. It's been a bit of a day for
Yes,
I think
no,
all
not
of us."
right. Yeah, not today. I need to go drinking. It's been a long day.
First time Bramnick goes on a proper bender in a
Yeah.
while.
It's been
Apparently.
a long time. I'm getting
Alright.
hammered at Tagus's house.
Okay. So you guys can all head back, I suppose, unless there's anything else. Tagus, you sort of stick around for a little while, meet the other members, and then head back with the caveat that you probably join the council for a meeting in a day or two's time once you're sort of set up at the temple itself.
All right.
You guys have a when you guys get back, there are 2 large casks of ale sitting in one in the kitchen, one in the dining room. Several interesting, roasted meats, etc. It's a frickin' feast, basically. You have almost everything you could probably want. Fresh fruits and vegetables, food everywhere.
Before we get back, are we parting ways with Tagus?
Tagus
For the
sort of
moment.
hangs back for a few. He rejoins you at his house a little while later. He just needed to say hi to the rest of the council and get to know them a little bit better.
Okay,
Yep.
never
I
mind.
assume. But yeah, so about 30 minutes later, Tagus, you sort of come through the door, having met all of the people of the council and realizing kind of what sort of job this really is. But seems like they have pretty good heads on their shoulders for the most part. Orc doesn't say much, but yeah, it's sort of an odd situation for you, but it seems like they all have a very similar mindset where they try to find ways to accomplish things without killing each other. Seems to be the goal of the group, which
How
seems
civil.
to align with you. What's that?
So how civil?
Yeah, something like that. More out of necessity than anything else.
Fair enough.
But
So yeah, I
nevertheless,
head back to the house and see the party and join the fucking.
all right.
Yeah, I'm probably into my 4th or 5th glass, but like,
Yep.
I'm really getting into it.
It's been a little while. Make me a con check.
Oh yeah.
Con save.
Come on, fail it. Oh, not at advantage. 16. Damn.
You get a
Okay.
+2.
You're starting to get a little bit buzzed. Yeah. Starting to get a little bit buzzed. At this point, but you're not too drunk yet.
Tagus,
Huh?
my buddy. Do you have a garden?
Question:
I'd
Are
say
we
you're
this
not.
house?
I would kind of consider that like a couple of different houses there, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
yeah.
you'd have a small garden.
We do.
Yeah.
Cool. That's where I'll be sleeping. Thanks.
Okay, just don't. Yeah. Mom liked to plant. Funnily enough, snapdragons. Eh? Get it there? So don't step on those, please.
Right. Gotcha.
All right. So at this point, yeah, if you guys have anything else you want to talk about, Bramnick, you keep drinking. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just like kind of drunkenly like wrap my arm around Taggy's shoulders, like, hey, listen, like Grammar may look and smell like he does, but it's actually really good. So like, I wouldn't worry about the plants.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna
So,
pass that on the table.
Okay, that's fair. So Corellian goes down. The rest of you kind of have a pretty decent night of sort of talking and just relaxing. As you can kind of hear the calls of the wyverns, overhead, just patrolling the city now, having ideas as to where they need to patrol. There are, in fact, 5 wyvern directly over your house protecting it. As basically they're protecting the people with keys or knowledge of keys currently. However, um, this goes on for a few hours.
I have a
Is it-
question.
Sure.
Oh, go ahead.
Do I have any idea why they want the keys? Like, since
I
I
don't. Yeah,
you know.
you would assume that whatever they're going for, it's because it's a powerful thing. And
Yeah,
they can use it for some reason, but you don't really know much about the Sentinels themselves to know exactly what they might be going for there.
okay. That's
But
about what
you
I
have-
was
you have a
assuming.
general feeling that like they figured something out, and you're not sure what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And Ta?
Oh, is the airship already getting fixed like today, or would that be like a tomorrow
It
situation?
would start the next day probably.
Okay. Then as the night goes on, as everybody's starting to like pass out on the tables or whatever, Ta's gonna walk up to Tagas, and he's gonna just kind of like give a little bit of a nod and say the whirlpool was a good idea.
Hmm.
And then I'm gonna kind of stare off into space for a little bit, kind of look back at the house, look back to him, cherish her. A mother is a terrible thing to lose. And then I'm gonna walk away, like walk off in the night, head down to the docks, and sleep on the ship.
You're telling me, hey, where? Night.
Anybody else before you guys sort of go to bed?
Drinking
Bramnick,
probably
I'll
3
get
or
to you.
4 more. Yeah.
I'll get to you. Don't worry. Make me a con save with disadvantage now because you are
Yeah.
very drunk.
Yeah, come on, natural 1. Oh, that's still pretty good.
8's pretty close. Yeah. Okay. So you are you can't really see very well at this point. You are seeing like septuple. But yeah, you keep on drinking. Anybody else want to do anything before they sort of go to bed other than you, Bramnick? All right, Bramnick, anything you want to do?
No, I'm just gonna, once I get to about this point, I'm just gonna try to have somebody lead me to the garden. So I can
Oh no, they're all
go to
asleep.
bed.
You've been
Oh,
drinking the entire
well,
time.
then
So
I'm
I need you to make me
Bumblefuck
one more
doing
con
it.
save with disadvantage. We're gonna see where this goes.
Oh, that's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
good.
Well, the 8 from earlier still holds. So
The life of an alcoholic.
Right.
I'm
a functioning alcoholic, thank you.
I would like you, considering, and I know what your perception is, but this is going to be a very high DC.
Okay.
As you sort of try to head out to the garden, I need you to make me a perception check. Just sort of
With-
trying to make sure you know where you're going.
With disadvantage or
With disadvantage,
uh,
very much, and a ridiculous DC. Okay. Yeah, I didn't make it. You're really sure you're going the right way. I would say, Corellian, you are still passed the fuck out, but you wake up just for a second as you hear the door open. But not the back door to the garden, the front door, as Bramnick begins to meander his way out into the street. looking for his place to sleep. And that's where we're going to pick up next week because this is going to be a really funny intro.
Oh,
Okay.
What a
I-
cliffhanger.
Since I
don't
wasn't
sleep.
hammered, I had such a good idea.
Oh,
after
yeah.
Nugget
Nix
told
is-
me.
Nix doesn't sleep.
Can I
Oh,
have some
Nix
gold
doesn't
tar?
And I don't really think I'd be drinking that much. Like if there was really fine wine there, maybe, but I
Yeah,
don't
there
know.
is some really good wine, but probably not quite as much of it. Yeah, you'd probably have a couple drinks, but
Yeah.
I mean, I know you don't really sleep anymore, but like you do still have to take a long rest, basically.
Oh yeah. Should probably just like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
leave-
you would have noticed. You would have noticed Bramnick stumbling out the door. You can do with that what you will, I suppose.
Also,
I
tell
guess
you
she'll
what,
pretend like she's sleeping so he doesn't ask her for help.
Juja, as like everybody is, passing out, going home, Tagus will present you because he's going into NPC town. His 100 gold that he has for basically for identifying the cut, which kind of led to his mom not dying. So
Thank you.
thanks.
Thanks.
He's going to NPC town for now, I suppose, but who
Yeah.
knows? Could be back someday.
He may return at some point.
Is that like
That's sort of
is that the D&D equivalent of going to the Rainbow Bridge?
not quite. No. It's the D&D equivalent of putting your character into bot mode for a little while.
Yeah.
Uh,
Going into the box.
He's
PC.
running
Yeah.
scripts at the moment.
Yup.
Well, that
It's
was
like
fun.
turning on auto aim. Yeah, I know, Thunder. You only have like a shorter amount of time this week, and
Yeah,
actually
no,
kinda
I'd
do
probably be
too.
going actually.
Yeah, I gotta
so-
go.
Yeah. So, thanks guys for playing. We'll pick this up next
Yeah.
week.
Had fun.
Jeez.
See you guys in
Glad we could save your mom.
Yeah,
Yay.
that's good too.
It felt so good for my first time ever using that herbalist kit to roll a nat 20.
Yeah. Glad you did that.
Yeah,
that was good. That was good. It was a
Alright.
really high DC to actually figure it out too. So
Yeah,
that's
All
why
right.
it was awesome. That was really cool.
But I do actually have to go, so I hope you guys had
Yep.
fun.
Yep.
I will see you guys later. Probably not. Well, maybe sometime very much later.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Anyways, we'll see what happens.
It might happen.
Thanks for
See you
joining
guys
us.
later.
Bye.
All right, take
Bye.
it easy, y'all.
You guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks, Raven. It was fun.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Bye.
I can't wait to see
Hope it
what
wasn't
kind of
too bad.
shenanigans blackout drunk Bramnick gets up to in the morning.
Yeah, I just figured that would be a great way to start an episode, so that's sort of what I'm rolling with.
All right.
Um,
I'll
yeah.
see you guys all next week.